Welcome to Slashers Sunday, continuing on with this breakdown of the special features that are on the box set here. And now I'm looking at the back, and it's new audio commentary with Deborah Voorhees and Tiffany and yeah. I did listen to some of that. I didn't listen to all of it. I did listen to the entire director's actors commentary. Man, I thought I had very little to say about the other ones. I have less to say about this one of any of them so far, because here's my notes. I should probably have these on me when I go to press record, but you know me, I'm never prepared for shit. Man, the commentary was quite funny, but not informative. Not informative at all. The director and then the actors were just talking shit the whole time, and the director is really like weird but funny and perverted and can't take anything seriously. Kind of reminds me of me when I was listening to him a little bit. It was kind of funny. But holy shit, was he not really talking about anything? And the actors were just kind of going along with him and making jokes as well, talking shit about each other's performances and whatever. And he keeps telling John Shepard? What's his fucking first name? Shepard, Josh Shepard, what the fuck's his name? Where is it? John Shepard. Okay, it is John. That's what I thought. Anyway, he just keeps telling him how good looking of a man he is. Like, I think he's got a thing for him. I mean, he says it so many times. He's like, hey, you're a good looking guy there. You're a good looking guy. Yeah, that's a good looking man. That's a good. It says it so many times. So yeah, Danny Steinman is how you say his name, I think, or Steinman, or whatever it is. He was really funny. He was really funny. He was trash talking. He was like, "Who the fuck is this?" And but he would never take anything seriously. And he kept taking credit for everything on the film, but it was all like in a joking way. But I never knew if he was actually serious about anything, because he was like, "Oh yeah, no, I made those pants," and he was taking credit for every single thing on the set. He's like, I did this. Oh yeah, I made that, and oh yeah, that was me holding the camera there, and oh yeah, and you're like, is this a joke? And every time, I'm pretty sure it was a joke. I'm like almost 100% every single time it was a joke, but it was like, damn, man, I'm listening to this to try to get insight on what went on behind the scenes, and I got very, very little. Very, very little. But anyway, the director didn't even know how big it was, how big the franchise was, and he said that he was hired on to make Tommy Jarvis Jason in the end. Like, that was like his big thing, and that he needed to have a kill or a jump scare every 6 to 7 minutes, something like that. And I've talked about it, and as you guys know, I have my full spoiler discussion of the film itself. But as you guys should know, I love this film. This is my third favorite in the franchise, behind 4 and 2. I've always loved this film. It honestly, if I was being super honest about this, it might even be my second favorite, because I grew up on it. As a childhood favorite, this would probably be number one, like, just because this is the film I grew up watching the most of this franchise when I was a kid. But yeah, I guess I just kind of grew up watching the bastard films of franchises that I personally love that so many people hate, whether it's Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Friday the 13th, Part 5. I didn't see Halloween 3 till a little later, but once I saw it, I was like, oh, this is fucking amazing. And all those films that are like the, outcasts of the franchises, the main franchises, are films that are like in my top 2 or 3 of the franchise. I don't know. It's the uniqueness of it, but it's also, I just love the characters in this one, and I love how sleazy this is, and I love the babes and the nudity, and the kills are lame though. And he was pointing that out, and I was really realizing at this time how much the MPAA fucked this movie and how little gore and how little kills there are in this film. Like, kills seen on screen. There's an enormous amount of kills. There's 20 kills in the film. 20. They counted them out right there in this behind the scenes thing. And I was like, Jesus, 20 deaths. That's so many. I don't even think that counts. Maybe it did. I'd have to go back and rewatch that. But does that count the two guys that die at the beginning that aren't actually real, that are just in Corey Feldman's dream or young Tommy Jarvis's dream? Are they in there? If that's the case, then Jason kills, or Roy kills, what, 17 people? Because, that one dude was killed by the axe-wielding maniac who they pointed out in this, and that's what I like about the commentary, is that they're critiquing a bunch of the things in this that don't make any sense. And they're like, why the fuck would they give that guy an axe? And I loved that about this commentary. He was just, trashing his own work in a way, but he was still in love with it. And that was just what was great about it. So it was Tommy Jarvis, who's my personal favorite Tommy. I love this portrayal of him. I think he's like perfectly psychotic, and I love John Shepard in this movie. I think he's great as Tommy. But you also have Reggie the Reckless as well. So you get the director, you get Tommy, and you get Reggie, which are like the main people you want. That's what I want to hear a commentary for, and that's why I picked that commentary. And then it has like a fan or something that's in there as well, and he's all right. But that I'm there for those three dudes, and they were really funny. They were going at each other back and forth and making ribbing and trashing the movie in a lot of ways, but not in an endearing way, the way I would do it, the way that I would point it out, and the way I did point it out in my reviews. I'm sure I love to point that kind of stuff out. I guess there was a long sex sequence between Debra Voorhees and this other kid. So during that scene, there's actually supposed to be a sex scene, like a full-on sex scene. And he said it got cut out, and it was like, he was really bummed about that. But that's fucking lame. And there's a lot of humor in the behind-the-scenes stuff as well. Like, there's this joke where the kid is saying that Friday the 13th Part 4 is overrated in Savini's work, and it's this, and then like Savini kind of slowly comes up into the camera, and the kid changes his tune and is like, did I say overrated? I mean underrated. And it's a masterpiece, and that was pretty funny. And then some of the stuff the director says in the behind-the-scenes stuff is pretty funny. So it's a comedic experience with a lot of this, but not informative. Fuck, is it not informative? And yeah, I mean, as I said, he was supposed to make Tommy the killer for the franchise to come, which I think he did great. I think he set that up beautifully. One thing I noticed on this view, and they were kind of bringing it up a little bit, but I really noticed it because I was trying to pay attention to those things, was that real Jason, Tommy's like fantasy Jason that he sees, which would be real Jason. It's just a fantasy real Jason, but it's the red mask, with the lines and everything that we're used to. But so the point being is that a lot of people fucking don't like this movie because Jason's not in it. But this Jason, this masked Jason in the film, he's in the movie more than the blue-faced Roy. Like, when you're seeing Roy, when you're actually seeing him in full gear and everything, the screen time that Roy has, I have to believe, just really paying attention, that this Jason, the real Jason, the dream Jason, so everyone's like, oh, there's no Jason in this movie. Yes, the fuck there is. It just so happens to be a dream Jason. But he's in this movie, I feel, more on screen than Roy. I didn't pay attention to that before, but, I did now, and I have to say that I'm going to stick with that one. How well can you hear me through this mask? I feel like he can talk pretty well through it. I don't feel like it's too distorted, which is interesting. Do I look crazy? Do I have to? Is that scary? Wide eyed. Um, but yeah. So that's just something to think about. That there is a real Jason in this for what I think is longer, but somebody would have to add up the screen time of Dream Jason and Roy Jason. Love to hear Reggie the Reckless or Shavar Ross as his real name is. Um, Love to hear him mention in this Mr. Horton, the bicycle salesman, the child molestation episode of Different Strokes that he was on when he played Arnold's best friend, Dudley. I like, to hear him mention Different Strokes and to hear him specifically talk about, the Horton episode, the fucking infamous bicycle pedophile episode, was a treat for me because that was another thing that I grew up with and I've seen 100 times when I was a kid. That episode was so controversial and was so interesting. And when I was a kid, my brother and we all found it to be really fucking ridiculous and funny. And just I could never explain my experience with it because of my brother and him being the unique person that he is. But all I can say is that two-part Mr. Horton fucks a who, and that who is Dudley. When yeah, it holds a very special place in my heart, which is kind of weird to say about something dealing with pedophilia, but it's a really interesting episode of a show that made a lot of headway at that time. Um, so yeah, just to hear him mention it at all, I've never heard him talk about it ever, and he doesn't go into detail about it or anything. But has anybody seen that episode? Has anybody seen the Mr. Horton double pedophilia episode of Different Strokes? Yeah, that actually happened. Like, an old man was making little kids take off their clothes, and he's like taking pictures of them and trying to drug them with like candy and shit and fuck them. Like, that happened on Different Strokes back in the day. It's just crazy to me. It's just crazy to me that actually happened, but it did. And I don't know, I grew up on it, so I saw it a lot. The stuff that Corey Feldman is shooting in this was shot in his backyard. Like, the shots of him and him reacting to everything. This is just like last minute. They came in and they filmed in his backyard, and he just stood next to a tree and they like sprayed water on him. That's really interesting. That's really interesting because it feels like he's there. So that's really good editing, and that's, good, um, consistency and whatnot. So, and then let's see. I already talked about all that. He was outwardly saying, as expected, as usual, the MPAA hacked this fucking film to shreds. Supposedly, Violet was actually supposed to be doing like gymnastics, and she was supposed to have a very similar kill to the one in Friday the 13th Part 3, where the guy's doing a handstand and gets cut, boom. But this time she was supposed to be in a handstand, and she was supposed to get a fucking machete down the vagina, like straight out, which I thought was really interesting. But the pseudo echo robot Violet dance is like one of my favorite things in this franchise. It's unfortunately the second best dance in this franchise, next to, of course, Jimmy's dance in Part 4, which just can never be topped and never will be topped by anyone ever. But I love the Violet dance, and she actually made my top 10 hottest babes in the franchise list when I made that list live with Christian from Exploding Heads a week ago. So, yeah, I think Violet's adorable. She's definitely my style. Of all the chicks in the franchise, she's the most my type when it comes to her style. She's got like that alternative look to her. So, yeah. And there she is. right next to the girl from Psycho 3 and Slumber Party Massacre 2, and I love it. I love that chick. She gets naked too, and whew, there's some beautiful women in this movie. There's some beautiful women in this movie. She's got a great body. She's got, and then of course Deborah Sue Voorhees, her tits, her body, her ugh, God, beautiful women in this film. I'm telling you what. The Friday the 13th franchise is tough, man. When Christian and I sat down to do that list, we were both like, bro, this is hard. This is seriously difficult. Because, like, you can pick, like, 2 or 3 chicks from every single film in this franchise. At least. Almost every girl in every one of these movies is attractive to me. Like, legitimately, I can't think of almost any. Outside of, like, Ethel or some shit. Where it's like, come on. But this film, oh my God. There's so many beautiful women in this. Whether it's Pam, whether it's Violet, whether it's fucking even Lana, right? Isn't that her name? The blonde waitress who rips her tits out and everything. There's so much nudity in this movie, and I love that. I love that because the director was a porn director. He directed porn before this, and it shows. And holy fuck, the amount of times he talks about like these girls, even like Deborah Sue's, like Debbie Sue's scenes. He like just randomly blurts out like something like, and she's got huge fucking tits. It's great, man. It's great. He's so funny, so like okay with his perversion, his perverted nature, and I love that he embraces it, and I love that he talks shit, and I love that he has fond memories, and I love that he's playful, and it seems to be a fun dude. So, as I said, not informative, but fucking entertaining, 100%. There was the flare kill on Rat-a-tat-tat-tooey, that crew. The flare kill was supposed to like stay in the mouth and then start like coming out, burning through the eyes and everything, and they had to cut that out. Oh, what a shame. Why have to cut that out? Oh, I would love to have seen the flare stay in his mouth and then his eyes start like exploding inside his head as the flames caught fire in there. Why? Why do they got to cut that kind of stuff out? Anyways, we find out that Violet, the actress, she picked out her outfits, her style, and the music. Supposedly, I guess she picked out Pseudo Echoes His Eyes, which is very iconic to the franchise, and we have Violet to thank for that, I guess. That's really cool. I think, yeah. Now this like makes me. She might even go up a spot or two now in the sexiest girls in this franchise because that's pretty damn cool. I love her style in this. I love her hair. I love the crimped hair with the like low lights popped in. I love it, man. I love it. I think she's so sexy. I like the way she dances. I dig it. And to think that she picked out her own shit in that song is super, super cool. And let's see. That's all I got. That's all I have written down. Oh shit, I'm out of stuff. Yikes. Guys, there's no fucking special features on this. Like there's the like the behind the scenes making of where they interview like the director and Violet and other thing. Guys, this shit's like 10 minutes long. And it's the only thing there. Outside of like a trailer, which the trailer showed a lot of that dream footage with Corey Feldman. That was like primarily what the trailer was, to like trick people into believing that Jason had come back and was going to go after Corey Feldman's character. Like, that's some nonsense. But I get it, and I guess it worked because this movie made some money. But of course, in the 6th one, they did not stick with the Tommy reveal, and supposedly John Shepard said he was cast in part 6, that they wanted him to come back, but then that didn't work out and they were going to ditch that idea, and so that got canned supposedly. So that's super interesting. But yeah, what else? Is there anything else? Yeah, I don't think there's anything super noteworthy. Um, and then the other special features was like that stupid fucking Tales from Camp Crystal Lake, Lost Tales, and then that like fan film thing is like part five. Oh my god, I have no interest in either of those things. They're one is just like a really shitty made fan film, and then the other one's like this mockumentary. Just even talking about these special features is boring me, as you can see. Yeah, yet again, super underwhelmed with the special features on this. I mean, I might as well just jump ahead to that bonus disc that actually has a lot of stuff on it. Then I'd have a lot more to talk about, and that's probably what I should have done. Should have just done one fucking video on that, because I don't know. Are you guys enjoying these? I don't know, because I'm not really getting super into the film, and that's what Slasher Sunday is supposed to be about. I'm just trying to talk to you about what I found on the special features on this disc. So please let me know. I'm going to continue to keep doing it regardless, but I just want to know if you guys are enjoying this or not, because I kind of feel bad because I don't have a ton to say. Um, but yeah, I was sitting here thinking like Danny says that he made the mask, and then I'm like, wait, he said he made everything. He said he did everything, so I highly doubt that. But that's what I was saying. You can't take the guy seriously, and I don't know how to not at times. I'm like, wait, is he serious there or not? I don't know. And yeah, that's it. So well, 5 down, 7 more to go. So we got quite a journey ahead of us still, but at least we're 5 in, and this was a really fun commentary. I genuinely recommend listening to it. I think it's super fun. I'll get to the Debbie Sue one eventually, but for now, this is what I got. I'm yawning. I'm out. Adios.